Yo, what is up, PPL fans? Shoutout here, coach of the Bayern Munich, and welcome to PPL Week 9. This week we're up against Alex Bayern and his AS Monferno. But before we get into that, as you can see, we're going to go over the league table as well as the GPA real quick. Now, the league table is very, very interesting. Now, if you haven't seen Sam's match, well, this is a spoiler. I should have probably put a spoiler warning, but too late. Probably have the description, maybe, potentially, perhaps, who knows. Anyway, yeah, Sam took his first loss last week, which is crazy. And it just happens to be that it was against our last week's opponent, this week's opponent, Alex, who got his second win, and it was over Sam. That's pretty fucking cool. So, the title is completely up for grabs now. As you can see, for the first time in a while, it's not Sam or me in the number one spot. I think I was number one for 1 week, and the rest was just Sam. So, Trav took number one. However, the title is still, as I said, completely up for grabs because not only even Sly is theoretically still in a tight race. Now the chances of Trav and Sam losing 2 games, as well as me and Jack losing 1 each, are relatively low, but they're still there. So up to 5th place. Excuse me, everyone is still in title race, and below that, everyone's mathematically out. So, sorry kids, but you didn't do it this time. So yeah, 6 points difference between 5 and 6 is pretty big, I want to say. You know, it's 2 games. It was a lot. So yeah, Sam and Trav still play each other, and I still play Trav in week 11, and Jack also still plays Sam. Sam also plays Frank this week, who we play in the week after. So basically, the title is still 100% completely open. Of course, at this point, it is in Trav's hands. But if he does manage to beat Sam, which I really hope he does, because, you know, I can't beat Sam, he won't already fuck that up. I can beat him week 11 and take the title right out of his hands and make him really, really sad and make me really, really happy. And that's what I'm aiming for. So, yeah, plus rating differential on our part is also pretty strong because, you know, Sam has the same and Trav only has 1 more. And they both have a win more. So that's pretty fucking cool, if you ask me. So, with that all out of the way, let's get into the GPA award. And as you will see, Megalopony is in number 1 because Megalopony is the best Pokemon to ever have been created. Yeah, 11 and 1, plus 10 differential, which I hope I can improve this week. You know, keep the 1 there and get the 11 up by a couple. Followed by Mega Blastoise, Arcanine, and Tyranta, all at 11 kills, and Blaziken at 10. Now, Lopunny has less games played than Mega Blastoise and T-Tar, and has the least deaths by far. So, yeah, we're sitting comfortably, quote unquote. We also have number 12, Thundy T, and number 15, Manaphy. So both of those are climbing up slowly but surely. Not that slowly, they're climbing. Manaphy with 4 kills last week, Thunderous with 2, and then, you know, the last week's Thunderous has been really, really amazing, and I love it even more than I did at the start. And those 3 are going to be our main players for this week. Now let's get into the team building sheet. This is Alex's team. As you can see, Victini, Mega Sableye, Zapdos, Escavalier, Marowak, Toxicroak, Regirock, Whimsicott, Kyurem, and Spritzy. Yeah, he changed his meme pick from Bayleaf to Spritzy, basically. He dropped Bayleaf to get Spritzy. And Alex has made a couple of transfers over the season, and the majority of them actually helped me. I want to say all of them helped me. I'm going to open the sheet on my phone again so I can look at what exactly he did so I don't say anything wrong. But his latest transfer was him dropping Umbreon and Hitmonchan for Toxicroak. Now, he initially told me that he was going to get Machamp, and I was very upset because Machamp is a cunt and it's going to spam Dynamic Punch and I will lose. Or it's going to have Guts and I can't Scald Burn, and then I'm going to be even more sad. So, well, probably not as sad, but, you know. So that was very, very nice because Hitmonchan Mark Punch priority isn't there. The Iron Fist Life Orb Mark Punch potentially isn't there. Toxicroak's only priority to hit Megalopony effectively is Vacuum Wave, and that's not nearly as strong as Hitmonchan's Mark Punch, so I'm very, very okay with this. He also, in the week before, he traded Sawk to Liam for Hitmonchan, so Sawk is out of the way as well. So I don't have to play Sawk this season. I already played it, and it didn't come, so that's great. And his first transfer was, I think, the biggest one for me. He dropped Suicune to get Umbreon. Suicune was the only Pokemon on his team that straight up stopped Megalopony. If you want to look down his team, nothing else can safely take on Megalopony reliably. Victini, it does take the hits very, very effectively because it's base of 100 mon, it resists high jump kick, etc., etc. And it also gets will wisp, so he can burn stuff. But first up, stealth rocks are a thing, and I'm bringing stealth rocks. Second, it doesn't have recovery at all, also have rest, and it also wants to be offensive because it's a Victini. Usually wants to be offensive, and yeah, if it's defensive, that's one worry. One worry less to some extent. Will make one of my mons very free, well, a bit more free. Mega Sableye gets absolutely destroyed. Zapdos can't switch in unless Stealth Rocks are up. It takes like 47% max from an adamant return, which is a lot. So it's not really a good switch in. And also, it's going to be pressured into roosting, etc. It can't OHKO Mega Lob if it's defensive, so yeah. As Cavalier can catch a Fire Punch to the face. Marowak, if it's Fizz Def, it can sort of take the hits, not really. But again, no recovery, and if it's Fizz Def, it doesn't hit as hard, and I'm okay with that. Toxicroak dies to return after a Fake Out or some chip damage. Regirock can actually take a high jump kick and counter me. He could bring counter Regirock, I have considered that, but I don't think he's doing it because it's just way too obvious. Like, it's like the most obvious thing. Hey, I have a Regirock, you have a Mega Lopunny? I'm gonna stay in and click counter. It's too obvious for my liking. I don't think he's gonna do it. I know Alex, I know that that's his kind of thing, but he already did week 1. He knows me as well. He knows I won't fall for that easily. So yeah, he also have T-Wave. Basically, I'm not gonna click any move against Regirock because I don't want to die or get paralyzed or take a butt ton of damage from like Superpower or Drain Punch. Whimsicott, if it's Fizz Def, can somewhat switch in, but not really. Kyurem, high jump kick. Spritzy is a Spritzy. I don't particularly care for Spritzy being there. If he does bring Spritzy, I can deal with it. I have things that can just destroy it and easily 2-KO it or beat it 1v1. But I think if he brings it, it's just a complete waste. He has so many good Pokemon that so many Pokemon do well against my team. So yeah, there are a few things that are very, very scary in this team. It's Cavalier and Marowak, I don't have switch-ins to, like at all. I just don't. I mean, Thundy can live any hit from his Cavalier, but Marowak can kind of kill everything after some chip damage. So if you get some Trick Room with Victini or Whimsicott or Spritzy, that could be very, very scary. But with Fake Out Pressure from Lob, I can kind of play around it. I have P2, which lifts every hit ever in history. So I can kind of play around it, but it's going to be scary. Whimsicott is also going to be annoying. I'm fairly sure he's bringing it because of Encore, and he can play around with Manaphy a little bit. I think Victini's coming. Zapdos, Escavalier, Toxicroak, Whimsicott, and the last one's kind of open. Kyurem does pretty well against my team, so I can see that coming. Unless he's really, really worried about Magnet Rise Klefki, which spoilers, I'm not bringing Magnet Rise. Marowak could also be coming, so can Regirock. If he doesn't bring any of those two, he doesn't have rocks, which would be huge for me. And Spritzy, I don't think it's worth it for him, but he could do it. If he does, then hey, I don't mind too much. Mega Sableye, I just don't see it coming. I don't see it doing much against my team. Majority of my offensive threats just beat it, and the defensive ones he can deal with in other ways much more effectively and much more reliably. And you don't just want to have that straight up Mega Lob fodder when your team's already that weak to Mega Lopunny. So I don't think he's bringing Mega Sableye at all, which is why my strategy for this game is going to be Hazards stack the ever-living crap out of him. I built 3 teams for this week. First one was a balance attempt. I didn't really cover the threats too well for my liking, so I kind of went away from it for a while. Then went to a hyper offense set, which actually does really, really well against this draft. But again, I'm not too comfortable with hyper offense, so I started over again, and I came up with a pretty cool team which has 3 offensive ones and 3 more defensive ones, kind of like the standard. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna end up with. That's what I'm gonna use. But as in other weeks before, every fucking Pokemon was considered. Also, I like this note about Mega Lob. Alex is a friend. He knows that this is a joke. Anyway, every Pokemon was considered. Acid Spray Skuntank or just Pursuit or Sucker Punch Skuntank for Victini was considered. It was on the team on the Hyper Offense variant. Manaphy is good. Crobat is pretty cool because it helps with a couple Pokemon to some extent. Escavalier to some extent. Marowak. Toxicroak definitely, it helps a lot against that. And Whimsicott and Spritzy, I guess. So that's cool. But I can't taunt Spritzy, so it's not that great. Yeah. Yeah, and then the other ones I didn't bring are Seismitoad, which I was so close. I had Life Orb, Brain Dance, Seismitoad against him on my Hyper Offense variant team. Then I started over and it just didn't fit on anymore. Really sad because it 2 KOs the entirety of his draft in the rain. Hydro Pump does so much damage to everything, even like when he was considering with Champ. Assault Blast gets 2 KO'd, Assault Blast Cavalier gets 2 KO'd in the rain. Focus Blast for Kyurem, Sludge Wave for Whimsicott, Earth Power for Toxicroak, which he didn't have at time, so I would have to have Rain into something else. Or just not a Focus Blast for Kyurem, which still takes a buttload, somewhat of a buttload from Earth Power, so yeah. Basically, every Pokemon does well against this team, which I think gives me a pretty decent advantage in matchup. Now, before I ramble any further, let's get into the team. How to murder a ghost, and as you can see, the first member, of course, had to be mine, the Mega Lopunny. With Lopunite Limber as per usual, because what else am I going to do? And of course that turns into Scrappy when it Mega Evolves. And then we have Fake Out, Return, High Jump Kick, and Fire Punch. Max Attack Adamant, 236 Speed and 20 in HP. That's just enough to outspeed a timid Whimsicott. There are no Scarvers that I would want to speed that I would need to pay attention to that he could bring, because this fastest thing I could outspeed as a Scarver would be Regirock. And I do that anyway. Also, it's a Scarf Regirock. So, that'd be a nice meme, but I'm not expecting it to happen anytime soon. So, yeah, Mega Lopunny, Fox's team, as I said, it's gonna be there to get pressure off his team, revenge kill things, and clean up late game. My plan is to clean up with this thing late game, because it destroys his team so hard. It's very rare to have a team that just doesn't have switch into Mega Lopunny, because it's not difficult to switch into it, it's just difficult to deal with it in the late game. So, I have High Jump Kick because I want to be able to one-hit KO the Mega Sableye, and I do. Which is very, very nice. I will have to Scout for Protect because I don't want to, take that 50% damage and then die to a Vacuum Wave from Toxicroak later on. If it brings it, if it brings Mega Sableye, that is. And yeah, I might still change High Jump Kick to Substitute. I actually considered it like a couple minutes ago. It's like Substitute would be pretty cool, so I might still change that. I have sent team to Adena, but that should still be fixable because someone should have to TM somewhere. I sure as hell probably don't. So yeah, Mega Lopunny is going to be huge. I wanted Fire Punch because this Cavalier is a threat, like a really, really big threat. So yeah, this is the whole story. This Cavalier is a threat. I want to have Fire Punch, and Oko, guaranteed Oko is very, very nice to have against such a massive threat that I just don't have switch-ins to. So a Mega Lopunny can live potentially a hit, and then just kill with Fire Punch, and that's all fine. In Trick Room, that is, of course. If it's not in Trick Room, I just kill it. So that's cool. I think as Cavalier gets counter, so it could be Ockerberry counter. It could be Ockerberry counter or something. We'll have to look into that before the match. Again, that could be a thing because Alex is a master of the memes. So, moving on, we have Alicia the Klefki in her second game. Leftovers, Prankster's ability, Spikes, Dazzling Beam, Thunder Wave, and Foul Play max HP. 164 defense with a Bolt Nature and 92 in special defense. And this is just my Spike stack. I want to stack I want to stack Spikes against Alex's team, and this is going to enable me to do so. Of course, this doesn't do anything to Zapdos, but I have other ways of checking that or dealing with it, mainly Thunderous. In fact, the only good answer I have is Thunderous. But the reason I'm running this exact moveset is because I want Dazzling Gleam to hit things like the Mega Sableye and the Kyurem relatively hard. It's also not resisted by Zapdos, so it's better than Flash Cannon in that department. It also does good damage to Toxicroak. And yeah, on Spikes, of course. And T-Wave is there to slow down things. If he wants to bring a Victini on me and kill me, he's gonna get fucking paralyzed. He could be Lumberry. I have considered that. But that just takes away power from him, and I'm okay with that. So in an emergency situation, I'm likely T-Wave against a thing if you get a full para. Next time I'm clicking Foul Play, and he takes a buttload of damage, and that's great. T-Wave is just generally nice to slow down things like the Whimsicott, the Kyurem, again, Victini, and I guess Toxicroak to some extent. So yeah, no, I'm not going to set Toxic on there. I think T-Wave is much, much more valuable in this game. Foul Play is there because it does a lot to Victini, and also does a lot to his Cavalier. It actually does more to than HP Fire to an Assault versus Cavalier, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, it also does more to Toxicroak after he gets up in SD, so that's pretty cool. I had Torment at first because memes, but I realized that it's not really worth it to have that, so I kind of went away from that, and yeah. I really want Toxic on the thing. I really, really do. I'll look into that in a sec. So, Moving on, we have duct tape to P2. Also, Klefki is my best answer to Toxic Rocket that I have on the team that I'm bringing. So, yay. It's also gonna be my switch into as Cavalier if I have to, so I can get spikes on that thing or get a foul playoff or whatever. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, as I said, duct tape to P2 with the Violet, Analytic, as the ability, Try Attack, Recover, HP, Fire, Ice Beam, Max HP, Max Special Defense, Calm, 4 Special Attack. This thing, it is so ridiculously fat. I love it. I love everything about it. A Choice Specs Timid Curum's Draco Meteor does 51% max damage. That is the highest roll there is from a Specs Curum Draco. There's 130 special attack and a stat Draco. That is ridiculous. Like, really fucking ridiculous. So I can stall the thing out for days. If it's anything but Specs, I just don't take any damage from it. It could of course be mixed, but I don't think he has much reason to. Like, I mean, I'm still gonna take a hit, so, because I'm a P2. Yeah. This also is one of my decent answers to Victini. As you can see, I have a Drotigon, which is going to be my main answer, which you can probably guess. But P2 also takes on special Victini for absolute fucking days. Modest Life Orb, Focus Blast is also like 50% max. So I should be fine in that regard if it really comes down to it. I have P2 in the back. It's also a switch into offensive Whimsy card if he does to bring that. I was considering he could bring that with, like, I'm pretty sure it gets knockoff. So you can have that, you can have Psychic, Energy Ball, like Moonblast, and something else I forgot that he would want. HP 5 for Klefki, but there would be 5 moves. He needs, he needs Encore as well, so he can't have all the moves to be an offensive Whimsy card, so I'm expecting support. Yeah, HP Fire is of course there to hit his Cavalier. It does a good chunklet with the Analytic boost, and Ice Beam hits the Zapdos pretty hard. Because I want to hit Zapdos, because it's also switching to Zapdos. The reason I have Analytic actually over that Trace, which Trace would be pretty cool to Trace Mega as Magic Bounce and bounce a Willow back or whatever. Zapdos is static. That's static. Static's not allowed yet in the PPL. Pressure, they can PP solid. That'd be cool. Yeah. Probably Whimsicon's Prankster would be kind of cool. And I guess Pritzy's ability, so I can get taunted. A P2 that can get taunted is a beautiful P2. But Analytic is very nice because it allows me to break a Kyurem sub with Tri-Attack. Sub-Roost Kyurem is pretty scary because it's a Kyurem and it's subbing and roosting and it's not fun. So with Tri-Attack I can break the sub unless he's a very very bulky spread, in which case he doesn't hit as hard and I can kind of play around with Manaphy and Megalop and Klefki, I guess. So yeah. Also, I forgot to mention the special defense investment on Klefki is enough to live a Life Orb Kyurem's Earth Power. Guaranteed. 99% max roll, I think is what it was. I can live that and get off Spikes or T-Wave. That's crucial. So, yeah, after P2, then we have another big win on Eden the Thunders with the Choice Specs. It's finally time. Volt Absorb, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, HP Flying, and Flash Cannon. 8 HP max special, max speed, and basically max special attack. And HP Flying IVs. So, this thing fucks his team sideways. He has nothing and can safely switch into a Specs Thunderous. I had HP Ice over HP Flying first for the Marowak, and also his Whimsy Cuts perfectly. However, I got the idea from a friend of mine, and he said, like, why do you not just run HP Flying? I was like, I want to kill Marowak. I redid the calc and I was like, oh yeah, I don't even OHKO with HP Ice. So, HP Flying is overall a much better choice. Because first off, it's a stab move, so it's base 90, which is nice, and it hits his team pretty good. He only has 2 flying resistance in Regirock and Zapdos, none of which is really gonna want to switch in, and it eases my prediction game. Makes it a lot easier for me to break around his team, because I can click HP Ice against I can't click HP Ice against something like a Victini, even if it's a little bit lower, but I can click HP Flying and still hit the Marowak and also kill Victini if he stays in. HP Ice again is not an OHKO, it does 94% max at the absolute max roll if he's max HP. So even off the rocks, I don't kill him. Guaranteed. Yeah. HP Flying does 58 to 70%. So basically still 2 KO. I'm not gonna rely on Thunderous to revenge kill Marowak. I'm just not. Jesus, why am I burping? So yeah, there's that. HP Flying. It's cool. It does things. It does damage. It's the majority of speed. Also, all coast Toxic Croak, which is neat. Flash Cannon is there to hit the Kyurem and the Whimsicott. I of course could have run Focus Blast, but missing is a thing. And with my plan being chip damage from Thunderous Volt Switch and Megalopody's Fake Out, etc. And Rocky on Druddigon, and the Hazard, of course. I'm gonna get Kyurem in range to kill it with a Flash Cannon. I just am. At least that's the plan. So I don't have to risk Focus Blast. I can click Flash Cannon against Whimsicott and the Kyurem. So again, eases my prediction game, makes it easier for me to play around his team. Also, it's Regirock. It's pretty super effectively, which could come in clutch if he brings any of those Pokemon that I'm not expecting. Because of 2 KOs there, because I'm a Spec Thunderous, I kill everything ever. So yeah, there's that. Next up, another big win con is Tiny Blue the Manaphy with the Wakon Berry. Hydration as the ability, Take Low, Scald, Ice Beam, Dazzling Gleam, Max. Very, very straightforward. I think this is the first time this season that I've brought Wakon Berry, and I wasn't actually sure that I would bring it. I was heavily considering the Mental Herb, because Encore Whimsicott is a thing. I think on my initial Hyper Offense team I had Mental Herb on this and on Klefki, just to prevent Encore or Taunt, respectively. But ultimately, a Wakon Berry is a lot more useful because he has Zapdos, which could be a Scarfer, or something like a Yashi Berry, and can get a lot of damage off on me. It could be Bikini, could be some variant with Blow Strike, whichever it may be, Life Orb, Scarf, Bandit, and with the Wakon Berry, you can live there and just destroy him with a Scald after I get to +3. So basically, if I get rid of Whimsicott, I can sweep a lot more easily with the Wakon Berry than I could with the Mental Herb. Mental would have been a really fucking cool meme, as I kill something with a +3 Scald, he goes to Whimsicott, he's like, yeah, I can Encore you and then get damage off or whatever, and I just get the Mental Herb and kill him with an Ice Beam. It would be glorious. But Wakon Berry is also very, very nice. I'm gonna try to not reveal the berry that early. If it happens, it happens. But if I don't reveal the berry too early, he could be confused as to what I am. And by not revealing, I mean I don't want to take any damage, so he doesn't see that I'm not leftovers. So yeah, that's the plan. So, Victini is still a problem at this point. I still need Stealth Rock. So, J&D Druddigon is coming with the Rocky Helmet Molt Breaker as the ability. Stealth Rock, Fire Punch, Pursuit and Toxic, Max HP, Max Special Defense, Careful with 4 in defense. Molt Breaker over Rough Skin, because there's a Mega Sableye, which again, I'm not really expecting, but just in case, having the ability to just get up rocks against it and get a Toxic off on it as well could be very, very nice. It would help if he does bring it and he's like a Protect variant or whatever. You can get rid of him, make a Lopunny. Things get a little scary. I can get Toxic off on it and wear it down that way. So yeah, and then potentially stall over P2, because P2 is God and doesn't take any damage from anything. So, Toxic is also nice for these Zapdos. I want to, Toxic that thing because it's annoying. And yeah, again, Stealth Rock's good. I can guarantee to get them up if I want to. If I click Stealth Rocks and I'm not dying, I get up Stealth Rocks. Simple as that. Fire Punch is nice because it hits the Escalier for a lot of damage. It also does a very good amount to Whimsicott. And those are his 2 main Dragon type switch-ins. And Pursuit is for the Victini. If he goes for Recreate, which I'm not really expecting to bring, I'm very sure he's going to bring a special based Victini, because I have a size total for which he will want a grass type move, whether it be Energy Ball or Grass Knot. He's going to want Dazzling Gleam for my Druddigon. So from there, I just think he's going special, potentially, probably with Focus Blast for P2 as well. And then Blue Flare or U-Turn, or whatever he wants. Psychic even, I guess. So yeah. That's what I'm expecting from the Victini, and I can live 2 Dazzling Gleams for most Victini variants. A Modest Life Orb one is a very good chance, not a very, but a decent chance of 2-hit KOing me. I think it's still in my favor if I remember correctly. Specs one, 2-hit KOs me, but I can play around. I can go to Klefki on a Specs Dazzling Gleam, no problem at all, and get Specs again. So there's that. And Toxic again, it's for Zapdos, is for Mega Sableye if he brings it, and I can get Toxic off. Regirock, I guess. Just in general, Toxics are nice. And yeah. So with that being said, that's the team. I think I'm going to change Megalopoly to substitute for my Jump Kick. I'm not 100% sure yet. I will let you guys know in the battle, on screen or whatever. You will notice. So that's that. As we're going against Alex, we beat him season 1 in a very, very good game, which I think to this day is one of my best games in League format. So check that out, season 1 Bayern Munich versus Dino. I'm very proud of the game, okay? For it being my 3rd game in League format, especially. Yeah. Season 2, he destroyed me with Agility Path Floats into Narayama. None of us got to upload the battle. because we didn't have time. But it was very, very impressive, and I hope he doesn't meme on me again. I'm just not down for it, honestly. And yeah, his season isn't going too hot this season. He was very strong in season before. And yeah, I'm gonna have to destroy him. If I get a 5-0 in this game, I'm at plus 69 differential in PPL, GPC, SCL combined. And I want to get a 2 plus 69, like who doesn't? So yeah, Alex, I'm gonna hope I can 5-0 you. Don't want to 6-0 this week. Let's go with a 5-0. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I can hope, you know. With that all out of the way, before I start coughing again like crazy, it's too late. Thank you for watching. Make sure to let me know what you think of the team. And yeah, hopefully see you guys in the battle. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave some nukes. I will appreciate all 3 of those, and hopefully see you guys next time. Goodbye.